Measure.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, you're good. Ready?
Yep.
What's going on, guys? And welcome to welcome to our new build. This is a 1999 SL500 Mercedes, and really people call this the last classic Mercedes. But we're gonna bring it into the 21st century. So the whole point of this build is to show you guys how to build your own custom car on a budget. And today we're gonna do two of my favorite things, and that is exhaust and wheels. That's why I'm holding this beautiful used muffler. I've got this muffler that I bought like a year ago for 80 bucks for my MGB, and we're gonna be using it on this car. Now, the way to keep an exhaust system cheap is to use parts you already have. This car has two mufflers. It's got a resonator in the middle and then a big suitcase muffler on the back. We're gonna take it to the exhaust shop, tell them, hey, we wanna delete the resonator, put a pipe in there, and then replace the muffler with this, and it should make this car sound absolutely insane. I think we're gonna be looking at about $100 labor, $80 for a muffler, $180 for an exhaust on a car is not bad, and it's gonna make this SL500 sound sick. Let's take it over there. I got a muffler in the back of the car that you can use.
Okay. You just trying to get it quiet.
Well, I'm trying to make it louder. It's got the stock muffler on there. All right, so I went last night and picked up the car. My exhaust guy got it done kind of late, so I had to go get it on the trailer. It got rained on, but I think it's okay. And the exhaust is done. Now, the best part about this, well, there's so many best parts, but one of the best parts is it was $40. We had already had the resonators done. Somebody had done it in the past, and so it was $40 to have my muffler put on, which brings us to a grand total of $120. And he even threw in a sick chrome exhaust tip. But that is not the best part. The best part is the way this thing sounds. Now, this is a cold start, but just listen. All right, so one of the most difficult and most expensive parts of any build is wheels, and the hardest part is picking the right ones. Now, the biggest thing you have to worry about to start with when you're looking for wheels is this. It's your PCD. There's two measurements that you need to know, and that is your lug pattern, your bolt pattern, which is your 5x114.3 on most cars. This is a 5x112. And the second is your inner diameter for your hub. Most of them are like 71 point something, but that's gotta be big enough to fit on your wheel or you're gonna have trouble. They do make adapters that are like wheel spacers. I've used them before and they do work, but it's best if you can get the actual PCD for your specific car. The next big measurement you have to deal with wheels is your width. Now, there's a lot that goes into this because if you stretch your tires or whatever, it means you can run wider tires. But basically, you want to know that your tire is going to actually fit underneath your fender. Now, if you're new to this and you're not really sure what width to go with, check the forums. Basically, every width has been run on every single car. We wanted a really wide car, so we picked an 11-inch wide wheel, and as you can see, it's gonna be a really wide car. All right, so the next one is offset, and this is the most elusive one, and it's kind of hard to explain, but I promise it's simple. This is the mating surface where you actually bolt the wheel to the car. The offset tells you where this mating surface is in relation to the front and the back of the wheel. Now, finding it is pretty simple, and figuring out how to use it to your advantage is even easier, and I'll show you right now. All right, so to find your offset, you lay a straight edge across the back of your wheel, and then take a tape measure, and you're just going to put it on the face or the mounting surface of the wheel. Now, ours measured 6 3/8 inches, okay? A little bit of math that you gotta do here. An 11-inch wide wheel is actually 12 inches wide. So the midpoint of our wheel, of our 12-inch wide wheel, is 6 inches. So since we have 6 3/8, that means that we have a 3/8 inch positive towards the outside of the wheel, or the face of the wheel offset. And a 3/8 inch offset is equal to about 10 millimeters. So this is a 10 millimeter offset, 11-inch wide wheel, which means that it's pretty wide for a cast wheel. So this is the stock wheel. So if you're trying to figure out your offset, it's good to know what your stock offset is. Most stock wheels, if not all, have the offset imprinted here. So right here, it tells us this wheel is an 8 and looks like 1/4 J, that's the width, and then ET34, which means it's got a 34 offset, that's positive. So when we're building our wheel, when we're trying to calculate what we need, it's important to know how far this wheel sits out with that offset. With that, we can then figure out how wide and how low our offset needs to be to get the width that we want. Now, if you still need some help figuring out your width and your offset for your specific wheels, there's calculators online. You can plug in some numbers and it's gonna tell you exactly what's gonna happen to your wheel, whether it'll move in or out based on your width and your offset. You'll hear seasoned drivers say this all the time, but easily, hands down, the best modification you can do to your car is a good set of tires. Tires are the thing that contacts the ground. If they're bad, your performance is gonna be bad. If they're good, your performance could be great. Continental hooked us up with some super sticky extreme contact DWS pluses. Now this is the perfect tire if you need a performance tire all year round. It's super sticky even in the summer or winter months. It can handle rain, it can handle snow, and their Sport Plus formula means that you have longer tread life. So if you're an enthusiast that wants to be able to drive your car every day, this is the tire for you, and that's why we chose it. So these wheels are already super wide, and if we were keeping this thing stock body, this fitment would be insane. We would have to do a lot of work to make these fenders fit, but we are not. We are going to be wide bodying this thing on a budget, and so we're going to need to use a little help from our friends called Spacers. Now we had to wait on them to come in, that's why I'm wearing something different, and we got two sets, a 2-inch for the rear and a 1-inch for the front. Now Spacers are probably the most controversial thing that I do on the channel, and it's because of all the internet information. Now I've used Spacers on daily drivers for years, and I've never had a single issue, but it is worth saying that they're probably gonna put more stress on your bearings and on your lug studs. You wanna make sure all of that is in good working order before you put a set of spacers on your car. Aside from that, anytime you lower the offset, whether it's spacers or really, really low offset 3-piece wheels, you're gonna put more stress on your car. It's just the nature of the geometry. But you're also gonna widen your stance and lower your center of gravity, which is pretty cool. So we are gonna be using spacers on this car. Now, what we've got here is our 11-inch 265 tire on a 2-inch spacer with a 10 offset. So we should have a pretty wide wheel. My favorite part about this is I now have studs. That's great. Okay, we'll throw these on real quick and then we'll sit this thing on the ground and see what it looks like. I'm so excited. Will you just look at it? This thing went from mild to absolutely insane with the addition of that spacer. And the fitment, I think, is going to be perfect for our kit, but we're not ready for that yet. We've got to see what the front looks like all widened out and see what the stance of this thing is actually going to be like when it's all said and done. Very, very excited. This is one of my favorite parts of any build. So this is gonna be our final stance. The only problem is it does not pass the shoe test. So we will sort that out later. But wideness looks insane. So we're gonna get the other side on, we're gonna get it out of the shop, we'll see how wide it actually is, which I think is gonna be crazy. And then we're gonna get it down on the street and we'll do some rollers, get some shots of that. I'm so excited. Let's do it. These Extreme Contact DWS 06 Pluses are a premium ultra high performance all season tire for passenger cars, crossovers, and SUVs. The Sports Plus technology provides responsive handling, it grips better on wet roads, and it extends tread life. They're available from 16 to 22 inches, so they'll fit basically any car you throw at them. And they have quick view indicators that visually inform drivers of the tire's level of performance. D, W, and S symbols in the tread disappear when the tire is no longer tuned for optimal performance in either dry, D, wet, W, or snow, S conditions. huge shout out to Continental for sponsoring this build. I cannot wait to put these tires through the paces. All right, so this is actually really surprising. First of all, our $40 exhaust sounds awesome, especially under load. Second of all, our big, just massive, wide tires fit. They actually fit. Now, we haven't lowered the car yet, and we are gonna do that, but like we're able to turn full lock to lock. We got a little bit of rubbing on the fender wells, but that's not a big deal. We're getting rid of those anyway. So it'll be minimal cutting to get this to really work. I didn't want to push the extreme contact DWSs too hard today just because we do have some clearancing that needs to be done. The fenders on some of the harder turns were hitting the tire, so we're gonna have to cut that away so we have some room. So once we get the kit built, we'll be able to really push these tires, but so far, I'm very, very happy with them. Now this car is starting out really, really great. There's no sounds, there's no issues, it's driving, it's already fast. All we gotta do is make it look cool. Build some kit around the wheels, and we're gonna have a really cool, really custom car. I love this car so much. I hope you guys are enjoying this build, and we will see you in the next one when we build